Football season is back, and that means fantasy football is back too. And what better way to commemorate the return of America's pastime than by drafting pinch runners? I'm Jake Mintz, and that's Jordan Schusterman. We don't like football.
Yeah, we don't, but we do love a good draft. And so with the Major League Baseball season winding down, the postseason approaching, we decided to have a little draft of our own, drafting pinch runners for the last remaining month plus of the Major League season, postseason included, and celebrate the players who have a very specific job in the game.
Here are the rules for how our fantasy pinch runner league is going to work. If you enter a game as a pinch runner, your team receives 10 points. If you steal a base as a pinch runner, that's 15 points. If you get caught stealing, that's minus 10 points. You only had one job.
But we also wanted to reward defensive replacements. I think we're going to go, 3 points?
2 points. 2 points.
2 points. 2 points, or one of your players enters as a defensive replacement in the 7th inning or later. It has to come later in the game. A way you're going to lose points is if any of our players starts a game in the lineup. It's the last thing we want to hear about any of these players. And so that is going to be a minus 5-point penalty for any single start. Again, regular season and postseason, we're going to be keeping track of this. We have one more scoring thing, right, Jake?
5 points for a home run. It's always funny when a tiny little fast guy rips one over the fence, so we want to make sure that gets celebrated. I will get the first pick because I came up with this fucking stupid idea. And with my first pick in the 2022 MLB pinch runner draft, I will take Yankees speedster Tim LOCASTRO, outfielder, the Italian stallion running free on the base pass across the league. He is an abysmal hitter. He has elite speed. He already has 15 pinch running appearances on the season. With the Yankees hurtling towards October, there's no shot they can give him starts. So I feel pretty good about this pick. I think it's a pretty clear number one selection.
I think that's a great pick. I think he's really what kind of inspired this draft in general. Of course, a D3 legend. Shouts out to the Ithaca Bomber. He was number one on my board too. Being on a good team, of course, we think postseason, deep postseason run could help us add some points. He's not going to hit. He's certainly not going to start. He's there to steal bags. My first selection, I'm very excited to announce Guillermo Heredia, one of my favorite Mariners of all time. This guy gets so much screen time just doing weird shit on the bench. A valuable member of the Braves bench. We saw him do it in the postseason last year. And this year, he is so bad at hitting. He's even worse at hitting than he was a year ago. He's appeared in 65 games and only gotten 77 plate appearances. We record this today. That is music to my ears, that ratio. Also a great chance to come in as a defensive replacement as well as a pinch runner. Maybe not going to give you as many steals. In fact, he actually hasn't stolen a base in the last 2 seasons, but I will take the fact that he is still going. Yeah, I know that part does not make me feel as good, but for the amount of times that he comes in as a replacement and as a pinch runner, I still like him as a pick.
With my second pick, I'm going to take someone who shockingly fell this far to the third pick. That is the pinch runner extraordinaire himself, the modern day Herb Washington, as he was referred to recently on the Mets broadcast, Terrence Gore. A gentleman with 1 career RBI. He is apparently on the New York Mets. Definitely will not be getting a start. I can guarantee that, but he will be stealing bags and he joins my team.
It's kind of a no-brainer. Again, to me, the balance here, right, is that his appearances are so rare. Now, they will certainly be pinch running appearances and they will certainly be, he will probably try to steal. But man, it requires the perfect situation for Terrence Gore. And that's why he wasn't quite as high on my board, but totally understand.
In his career, he has started 13 games ever in his entire career, and he has stolen 41 bases. He has 13 starts and 41 steals.
A great pick. Totally respect that pick, and I think it's a good one. My second pick, I'm going to take someone who has played a lot regularly over the last few years, but recently has taken to an extreme bench role, and that is Adam Engel of the Chicago White Sox. He comes in for defense all the time, and if you look at his game log recently, he has come in for defense 8 out of the 11 games he's played just this month, only with 2 starts in the last 3 weeks. Is he going to get some starts here and there? Yes, probably, but I feel like the amount that he pinch runs and comes in for defense will make up for that because he gets in a ton of games. He's played in 106 games this year, whereas Heredia, it's harder for him to even get in the game at all. Engel's always coming in. Also, Tony La Russa ranks 2nd in baseball, assuming he comes back. Tony La Russa
not in charge anymore.
That's true, but all the stats I just told you were while he was out.
Got it. That's a good pick. I'm going to take someone very different to Adam Engel. in that he doesn't steal any bases at all, will never start, and that is Ernie Clement of the Cleveland Guardians. Clement has a 44 OPS plus. He has 0 steals in the majors, 0 steals in the minors, but has pinch ran 11 times already this year. He's got good speed, defensive versatility, and I feel very confident that he won't be getting a start. I think that's kind of how I'm going about building my team. We don't start. Okay, don't start with us.
Feels like he might be on the fringe of a postseason roster for Cleveland, but I still like that call. For my third pick, I'm going, again, with you with the strategy, someone who I really would not expect to start any games for this team once he comes back from injury. I don't believe it is a major injury. That is Roman Quinn, who did start a stunning amount of games for the Phillies during his time in Philadelphia. He actually has gotten, 47 plate appearances in 21 games for the Rays, but he still feels like the kind of guy that's going to come in, if for defense, just pinch run, steal a bag. So I like the Rays in the postseason. I like Roman Quinn coming back, and I'll take him with my third pick. I guess what I'm thinking is the Rays have dealt with a ton of injuries, and I can't imagine the plan was to start Roman Quinn. So I'm hoping that once they're healthier by the end of the year, Margot's back and everything, he really should not be in the starting lineup anymore.
With my fourth pick, I'm going to pick someone whose name I had not heard of when I woke up this morning, but someone who I think is the deepest of sleepers in this draft. I'm talking, of course, about Cardinals outfielder.
Of course.
And pinch runner, Ben DeLuzio, who will be Dewinio. He made his major league debut with St. Louis earlier this month. Has not stolen a base yet, but he has pinch ran a couple times. One is he stole 30 bases in the minors this year, and he's up with the big league club. Even if he doesn't make the postseason roster, it's clear that he's on the roster to run and not hit, right? Yep. The second thing is that the Cardinals have 2 of the slowest, oldest people in not just baseball, but the whole world, in Yadi Molina and Albert Pujols, where anytime either of them will get on base late in the game, DeLuzio will come in. Even if he starts a handful of games here or there, easily like a no-brainer. He scored the winning run in the Cardinals walk-off last week when Tommy Edman hit the double. Like, he's gonna be around.
Dangerous thing there is if the Cardinals just take their postseason spot as clinched for the last week, and they try to get some of their guys some rest and you get some starts. I know Carlson's been hurt, but I love this pick. I love how deep you're going to get a guy that you've never heard of this morning when you started doing the research. So I totally respect it.
I'm a grinder. Me, Ben DeLuzio.
You're grinding pinch running tape. That's why I prepared you for this draft. For my fourth selection, I'm going to take someone who also should not be getting any at-bats anytime soon. That's because this team has plenty of good hitters. And he is someone who's leading the league in defensive substitutions and has, I believe, like 12 or 13 pinch running appearances. That is Bradley Zimmer of the Toronto Blue Jays. At one point was like this exciting 5-tool prospect. Now he is a, I guess, 2-tool prospect. Maybe he can still throw. He should not be hitting anymore, and he should never be hitting for the Toronto Blue Jays. The weird thing with them is they also have JBJ on the roster, who's kind of like a better version of him. Neither of them are really starting, certainly ever against lefties, but they are both on the roster right now. But I still like Zimmer as an option here. It's a safe pick. Similar to Engel for a team that's more likely going to the postseason than the White Sox. So I'll take Bradley.
With my final pick, I'm going to go a little off the board here and take a guy who will not be in the postseason unless God intervenes, and that is Magneuris Sierra of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Los Angeles, Southern California, Orange County. Sierra is not good. He's like a great example of why the Angels suck. Mike Trout gets hurt, as he does. The Angels' plan was to just start Magneuris Sierra, who is hitting 185 this year. Trout is now back and has relegated Sierra to bench duty, where he has just thrived, according to this league. He has been a pinch runner twice already this month, and he has 4 other defensive replacement appearances. I think if the Angels were a postseason team, Sierra would be one of my first 2 picks.
One of the worst hitters in the big league, 0 homers, parts of 6 major league seasons, so probably won't be getting that bonus at any point. He is definitely the spirit of this. I just, I'm not picking any. Now, with my last pick, I'm going to go with, I think, what a lot of people maybe tuned into this video, like, oh, well, take Billy Hamilton. I'm going to take Billy Hamilton here. He is on the Twins. Twins are a mess. I think if the Twins have been playing better than last week, he probably goes in the top 3. Hamilton still should not be hitting for a Twins team that at least they still think they can make the postseason. We might not think that, but they are still in the mix. I'm done predicting the AL Central, that's for sure. So if the Twins can make it in, Hamilton does seem like a good end of roster, never going to hit situation. So I'm thrilled to get Hamilton with my 5th pick, even if the Twins are definitely going nowhere.
All right, so just to wrap things up, my 5 picks: Tim LOCASTRO, Terrence Gore, Ernie Clement, Ben DeLuzio, and Magneuris Sierra.
I'm going with Guillermo Heredia, Adam Engel, Bradley Zimmer, Roman Quinn, Billy Hamilton. It's my pinch running squad. We will certainly do a video at some point, in November to tally up our pinch running fantasy league Let us know what you think of our teams, if we missed anyone obvious. A lot of options on some of these postseason teams. Some of the best teams really don't have any options, like the Astros, the Dodgers. They don't really pinch run very often because they just have really good players. Like and subscribe, and there's our pinch running draft.
My team name is the Mint Runners.
Is the what runners?
The Mint Runners. The Mint Runners.
Mint runners. All right, I'll work on my team name. I'll let you know.
Schuster man on first. There you go.